Greetings and welcome to Spacing Out. I'm Maureen Elsberry.
And I'm Alejandro Rojas. Thank you for joining us.
Jason and I went to New York Comic-Con last week and we had a chance to meet up with our friend Garrett Wang. Garrett's best known for his role as Ensign Harry Kim on Star Trek Voyager. Garrett's told us before that he's seen a UFO, so while we were there, we decided to ask him about it. But first, we're here to get you caught up on the news, so here are some of the UFO stories that have made headlines recently. A witness noticed a UFO streaking through the sky above Meridian, Idaho on Wednesday, October 8th.
Caitlin Ellis noticed the aerial object from her backyard at approximately 2:45 p.m. She recorded video of the UFO as it moved across the sky. She asserts that she then saw a plane with a long contrail following the unknown object.
Witness in Meridian's neighboring city, Boise, Idaho, also reported that they saw the UFO. KBOI2 News contacted Colonel Tim Marsano with the Idaho National Guard to get his opinion of the UFO over Meridian. "I really don't have any idea what that is," he explained, "but I can tell you for sure it's not anything that belongs to the Idaho National Guard or the Army National Guard."
The news station also contacted amateur astronomer John McVeigh, who opined that the object in the video is too slow to be a meteor.
Although the object in question was not related to Idaho National Guard or Army National Guard exercises, its behavior and appearance are consistent with a conventional aircraft. And military craft aren't the only craft flying over Idaho, so it's plausible that the object in the video is simply a private or commercial plane. But the object officially has not been identified.
A UFO video was submitted to the South Wales Evening Post by reader Jason Williams, and the paper says even the most skeptical viewer has to admit that something funny is going on in the video.
Williams says he saw the objects in the afternoon of October 12th were in the town of Swansea, and he was sure that they were not lights reflecting on the windshield. Williams told the Evening Post they were hovering around in the clouds and eventually two disappeared, but one remained in sight. Then it eventually went behind the clouds.
In the UK, many UFOs have turned out to be misidentified Chinese lanterns, but Williams doesn't believe that to be the case with his video. He said they didn't seem to be those Chinese lanterns as they looked very high and a lot brighter than the lanterns usually are. They didn't move like lanterns either.
In the video, there are three small bright objects that can be seen above a building. The Evening Post describes them as strange sparkling lights high in the sky.
The objects do not appear to be the same color as normal Chinese lanterns, which are typically launched at night, not during the day as in Williams' video. However, it is possible they are balloons reflecting in the sun.
A witness captured video of a UFO over Charlotte, North Carolina. Luis Rodriguez was walking his dog at approximately 7:30 p.m. on the night of Saturday, October 11th, when he noticed the unusual aerial object. NBC Charlotte reports that after watching the UFO move through the sky, Rodriguez believes it was a UFO, a spaceship of some sort.
"Tried to make sense of it just like any other rational person would," he states. "I thought it was a plane or some sort of aircraft that was just flying really low." The station sent Rodriguez's video to Catherine Qualtrough, observatory director and astronomy lab manager at the University of North Carolina at Charlotte. She opines that the object in the video looks strange, but she states, "Of course, normally in these situations, we would find a simple explanation."
Looking for that simple explanation, NBC Charlotte reporter Dan Yasanowski considered the possibility that the UFO sighting could be related to an event taking place nearby at the same time as the sighting. The Bank of America 500 NASCAR race occurred at Charlotte Motor Speedway the night of the sighting, and the speedway is just minutes from Rodriguez's apartment. The race, which began approximately 7:48 p.m., was preceded by a flyover by Team Aerodynamics, and the video of this flyover strongly resembles the UFO seen by Rodriguez.
Yasanowski showed video of the flyover to Rodriguez, who acknowledges the similarity to what he observed in the sky, but he's not completely convinced. "I didn't see different aircraft together," he explained to NBC Charlotte. "I saw just a perfect V-shape, slim V-shape above the sky."
But from his vantage point, it's understandable how he could view the close flying of Team Aerodynamics as one craft. Representatives from the Charlotte Motor Speedway and Qualtrough from UNCC agreed that the flyover is most likely the V-shaped UFO Rodriguez captured on video.
American University in Washington, D.C. recently announced that it will hold a panel discussion called UFOs Encounters by Generals, Pilots, and Government Officials. It includes 4 prominent national figures and is based on the honors colloquium Alien Contact, Science and Science Fiction by professor and filmmaker John Weisskopf.
Weisskopf describes this panel gives you an opportunity to hear from leading investigators and from eyewitnesses. Colonel Charles Halt, the Air Force Deputy Base Commander near Rendlesham Forest. He stood 20 feet away from a UFO and he recorded the event.
Along with Halt, the panel will also include investigative journalist and author Leslie Kean. The title of the event is taken from her New York Times best-selling book, UFOs, Generals, Pilots, and Government Officials Go on the Record. Other panelists include author Tom Carey, one of the leading experts on the Roswell incident, and Dr. Richard Haynes. Haynes is the co-founder of the National Aviation Reporting Center on Anomalous Phenomena and is a former NASA researcher. Haynes served as the chief for Space Human Factors Office at NASA's Ames Research Center from 1986 to 88.
These panelists are people who either have had their own UFO experience or who have researched the topic. Although skeptical, none of them are skeptics. The discussion doesn't appear to be a debate, but rather the presentation of compelling evidence for the serious investigation of the UFO phenomenon.
The choice of the moderator is also very interesting. The tone of a panel is set by the moderator, who can easily sway the focus to be comedic or incredulous. However, the moderator in this case is beloved and credible, and perhaps one of the more prominent figures to have admitted that he has also seen a UFO.
The moderator for the event is Miles O'Brien, a former anchor for CNN, and is largely specialized in science, technology, and aerospace. O'Brien shared his UFO experience on CNN after the airing of one of the series of UFO reports he had put together. He introduced the piece mentioning that he believed in UFOs, and after the piece played, one of the co-anchors asked him about his UFO comment.
He explained, "Well, you know, I saw something that was very odd about 20 years ago with my wife. We're in Maine, it was dusk, we saw what looked like, a planet, bright planet. But then it took a 90-degree turn and took off at about Mach 20. And I'm a pilot, I know speed. It was amazing. I've never seen anything like it. Could have been a meteor, could have been some black program, could have been something else."
The panel at American University will be held on November 12, 2014 from 7:30 to 10 p.m. and is free and open to the public. And this is one of a really cool opportunity for people. I don't think a lot of the general public gets the opportunity to go to an event like this, to see such credible people talk about this subject free. It's great.
I mean, what's cool is this is a really important university in DC. It's one of the head political universities. They have world leaders there all of the time. And when I saw this, I was a little afraid they were going to have a moderator who was a skeptic. But Miles O'Brien is really open to the topic. He's familiar with it, with all these reports he's done. So it's really exciting that they're taking this topic so seriously. And I've really got to say, for Leslie Kean, because this is kind of based off of her book, again, hats off to her, because her credible approach to this topic has just done wonders and gotten so much of attention from credible people and scientists that this is wonderful, I think.
Yes, and if anybody hasn't read her book yet, do so. It is presented in a way that it's easily digestible, and you'd be really surprised at the kind of stuff that's in there.
I agree. It's a great book.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, Jason and I went to New York Comic-Con, and we had the opportunity to ask Garrett Wang about his UFO sighting and his thoughts on extraterrestrial life.
Maureen and I were in New York City on October 10th for the 2014 New York Comic-Con. At the event, we had the pleasure of briefly chatting with our friend Garrett Wang, a talented actor best known for his role as Ensign Harry Kim on Star Trek Voyager. Although he spent many years in the fictional Star Trek universe, Garrett believes that our universe is also teeming with life. And he's even had his own UFO sighting.
So we're here with Garrett Wang from Star Trek Voyager, and rumor has it, Garrett, that you have had your own UFO sighting in the past. Tell us about that.
I have. I was in Puerto Rico, staying in a hotel that was close to the El Yunque rainforest there. It was quite remote. Very little light pollution, so you could see a lot of stars. I just remember coming out on my balcony, I looked up at a patch of stars and I saw a star make a movement, and not just like a drifting movement, but a triangular and then shoot off into the distance movement. So I knew that immediately that wasn't a star, and it was definitely some type of unidentified flying object. So yeah.
Well, and I know that you are somebody who is a believer in the fact that we're not alone in the universe. There's extraterrestrial life out there. So with that being said, do you think we're going to find it in our lifetime?
I would hope so. I mean, I honestly believe that there's probably already other intelligent life forms on this planet that are shielded or, you can't see that they are of other origin, but it's just whether the governments decide to let that information out. That's kind of what we're facing right now, I think. So yeah, it'd be nice to in our lifetime.
Also, so do you feel that being on Star Trek and completely involved in the idea of, you know, encountering other civilizations and learning their cultures and things like that, do you think that that shaped your beliefs in any form?
It may have subconsciously, but I don't think it was something that, you know, if anything, it bolstered my beliefs. How's that? You know, it supported them more than anything else. Yeah.
Well, thanks for hanging out, Garrett. It's good to see you again.
Hey, good to see you guys.
Comic-Con was a lot of fun, and, well, Maureen and I just couldn't resist. We couldn't pass up the opportunity to get a photo with Dana Scully herself, Miss Gillian Anderson.
That's all for this episode of Spacing Out. Visit our website, openminds.tv, for all the latest UFO news. Also, don't forget to register for the 2015 International UFO Congress, the largest annual UFO conference in the world. That takes place February 18th through the 22nd in Fountain Hills, Arizona. You can find out all that information at ufocongress.com.
Let us know if you enjoyed today's episode by liking the episode on YouTube and leaving us your comments in the section below. You can also download our podcast, Open Minds UFO Radio, on iTunes or at openminds.tv/radio. Thanks again for joining us today. I'm Alejandro Rojas.
And I'm Maureen Elsberry. We'll see you in the future.